All right, good morning, everybody, on this beautiful spring day. Thank you all so much for coming out today to join us at the Mary T. Maher Aquatic Center. I want to thank Keith Smith and the entire team for hosting us here today at the beautiful facility here in Councilman Bill Hollander's district to take a new step in our commitment to and our residents to protect our environment. 2 weeks ago, on Earth Day, we took steps to advance clean energy by announcing a new partnership with the National Renewable Energy Lab. And today, we are here to announce changes to our purchasing of gas-powered vehicles with an executive order for Louisville Metro government's own fleet. We know that climate change occurs across our globe due to the emitting of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into our atmosphere, and a primary source for those emissions obviously are gas-powered vehicles. The executive order that I will sign today will instruct all Metro government agencies and departments to prioritize the purchasing of electric and hybrid vehicles, green equipment, and the necessary infrastructure to support a transition to electric vehicles. So what that means is that when the life of a Metro vehicle ends, if an electric or hybrid vehicle is available for the performance level that's needed for that vehicle, through this executive order, Metro staff will make that vehicle a priority when purchasing the replacement vehicle. So examples include the many sedans that you see that code enforcement officers use throughout the city, lawnmowers at parks, etc. So we've been committed to this effort for years, but this is going to scale it up even more. In 2018, we created an interagency team called Drive Clean, consisting of staff from our Air Pollution Control District, Advanced Planning and Sustainability, and the Office for Performance Improvement and Innovation, who have worked together to educate people on the benefits of electric vehicles. There are about 85 electric vehicle charging stations in Louisville, and Metro has its fair share, including 6 stations in park garages, stations at Iroquois, Charlie Ventnor, and Seneca Parks, stations at the Crescent Hill, J-Town, and Northeast Regional Libraries, the Edison Center. Louisville Metro Housing Authority has many stations at Shepherd Square, and 1 station soon to be at Jefferson Memorial Forest. So Michelle King is with us here today. She's the Executive Administrator and Director of Program Planning in our Air Pollution Control District. She leads the Drive Clean team, and I would like her to come up and say a few words with us. Michelle?
Thank you, Mayor, for inviting the Air Pollution Control District to join you here today for this incredibly important announcement. Reducing emissions from mobile sources is a critical step to addressing climate change, and it's also a key strategy to reducing ground-level ozone, an air quality challenge that Louisville has been taking on for many years. In fact, more than 18 years ago, APCD established its Lawn Care for Cleaner Air program to help residents make the switch to less polluting electric equipment in their yards. And I'm proud to say that that program is still going strong today and has issued more than 10,000 equipment rebates to help our community improve air quality throughout the ozone season. With cleaner grounds maintenance equipment like propane mowers and electric stream trimmers being used by Metro departments, and more on its way after today's announcement, maintaining our public spaces will take less gas and emit less pollution, allowing us all to breathe a little easier. Likewise, APCD began its journey on the road to fleet electrification several years ago when, with the help of Metro Fleets, we were able to add an all-electric Ford Focus to our agency's fleet. Since that first EV, APCD has added 2 additional plug-in hybrids to our fleet, and we've had a great experience with them. What was new and unusual to many of us at the time quickly became familiar and even the vehicle of choice. In fact, after having the opportunity to drive an EV while working, at least a couple of us went out and got our own. So driving is believing, and it's just another way that fleets like ours can lead the community in change beyond our own assets. Transformative changes, like the electrification of one of the city's largest fleets, are what we need in order to continue to see improvements in our city's air and health, and to take part in the battle against climate change. Change begins with leaders like Metro government stepping up and making the kind of commitments that we are here for today. So thank you, Mayor Fischer, for today's executive order and for making the commitment that Louisville Metro government will lead the way in our clean transportation future. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. And she's right. I mean, the whole point of this is that Metro government, we can lead the way to show people a cleaner way to the future, and we take that responsibility seriously. Now, another way that we can do that is to require folks that work with us to demonstrate that they are practicing sustainable practices. So to scale this effort and to emphasize the need for more sustainable practices in our city, we have a new requirement for contractors that work with the city. So per the order, any contractor or supplier doing business with Louisville Metro government in excess of $1 million a year shall commit to reduce their carbon footprint and provide evidence in the form of a carbon reduction plan. So while the city has to lead by example, we believe that those that work with us with the means to do so should also join in this effort. Now, we know that many of our contractors already have sustainability practices, that this makes it very clear that if you're going to do work with the city of Louisville, you have to be contributing to a cleaner environment and to our sustainability practices. So collaboration is how we're going to meet our sustainability goals, and the consequences of not committing to a sustainable future obviously won't cut it. There's just too much on the line. And I think people have quickly come to or not so quickly, but people have come to the realization that clean energy practices, good environmental practices align perfectly with good business practices. And in fact, if you don't have them, they don't align, and you get penalized by customers not coming your way. So we look forward to scaling this effort up through all of our contractors as well. And speaking of collaboration, obviously Metro Council has to be right there with us. We need help educating our residents why this is important and why this is good for the city's physical health and for our own personal health as well. In the end, this is a very wise budgetary decision. It's a very wise health decision. This is about making smart financial choices that also benefit the health of the residents and the world around us, and it's part of us doing our part as a country here to make sure that our entire world is moving towards sustainable practices, because Mother Nature doesn't care much what we do as individuals. She reacts, and what she wants is balance in the ecosystem, which means that we've got to do our part, each and every one of us, to make sure that takes place. And I know that Bill Hollander on the council, whose district we're in, has been a champion for environmental responsibility for a long period of time. Bill also, in addition to being a steward of good health practices, is a steward of good financial practices as the chair of our budget committee. So, Bill, if you'd please share a few words with us, Councilman Hollander.
Thank you, Mayor. When the council passed our clean energy resolution in February of last year, we knew that it meant more than just a resolution, more than just a statement, but it would take action. So we're delighted to come here today and see additional action as we move forward on a clean energy future. Some of us said at that meeting that we were convinced that at the end of our day, our children or our grandchildren would look back at us and say, what did you do when this existential crisis was happening? And it's incumbent on all of us, and certainly incumbent on the city of Louisville, to do what we can do. I'll also say that electric vehicles make good sense, as the mayor said, from a budgetary standpoint. They're more efficient to operate. The cost of operating them is lower. We keep vehicles for a long time, and electric vehicles are going to be the future of this country. That's clear. And the future, I think, of the world. This is not the only thing we're doing in the clean energy spectrum. I see Zach Tyler over here, who has the energy manager for the city, and I will just say I've been to a couple of hearings where Zach has spoken about his work, and I've never seen council members quite as enthusiastic about a hire that we have made as part of this clean energy future that's going to save the city money. I think Zach has already more than paid for his own salary, and he's on a path to save the city a lot of money. So that's part of the clean energy future. And then when you look around the city and see all of these old street lights, we've just done a remarkable agreement with LG&E to replace them all with LED lights. That's part of our clean energy future too. And eventually that will save the city money as well. So this is a good day. It's moving forward with the resolution that Metro Council passed overwhelmingly in February of 2020. And I congratulate you on this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. We appreciate that. And then we got the government aspect on this, but we also need partners to make this done, to get this done and scale the message up, and leaders that have always encouraged us to do more as well. So I now would like to introduce Stuart Unger. Stuart is the president of Evolve Kentucky, who has been championing this sustainability efforts for a long, long time. We appreciate the many efforts of their good organization, and welcome Stuart's comments. Stuart?
Thank you, Mayor. Thrilled to be here. Evolve KY is Kentucky's electric vehicle group. We are a nonprofit. We started about 7 years ago, and if I can brag a little bit, we are really a Louisville success story. We actually started out with probably around 6 EV drivers about 7 years ago at a local Heine Brothers. And you fast forward to today, we have hundreds of folks that are members. We've installed over 31 or 32 electric vehicle chargers at different locations throughout Kentucky and some in Indiana. And locations like institutions, Irish Rover, Heine Brothers, Sapphire Coffee, Logan Street Market, YMCA, places of worship. So what we do is we're putting out community chargers for the most part, and people will see that this is something that actually can happen. We've had some, in that amount of time, we've had, some different highlights, and I really see this as one of the highlights of our community. To take a bold step like this is absolutely wonderful. It starts from the top down, and really for local fleets to show that they are embracing vehicles with a plug, electric vehicles, is the way to go, and everybody else will follow. It's happening, and it's happening very, very fast. We always say that education is probably the biggest part of what we do. It seems like every time we go to an event, I've been to a lot of events with Mayor Fischer, and it's absolutely wonderful because even though it's a car, there are a lot of differences and there are a lot of misperceptions, and we're there for the community whenever there's any sort of question. We're just absolutely thrilled that this is happening, and we're looking forward to seeing all this happen in a big way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stuart. So let's, obviously we're taking a local action here today that fits into sustainability goals for the country, the globe. Mayors stayed in the Paris Accord when President Trump pulled out. So mayors have been strong and cities have been strong in our needs to have a more sustainable future. You're seeing the private industry respond. Just a couple months ago, GM announced that their fleet would be going electric, all electric by 2030. In the American Jobs Plan, you see President Biden, in effect, announcing a quasi-national industrial policy around electrification and electrification of fleet, new electrical grids around the country. So this is our part of participating in a global movement, in a national movement, but it's important that the city takes this step so our city can see the vast number of people now that are going to EVs as well. So we need that type of infrastructure in our city, and of course we've got to be a model for it ourselves. Stuart and Bill mentioned that EVs have fewer maintenance costs, and what we're trying to do here also is go against the 2.3 million gallons of gas and diesel per year that Metro uses, resulting in emissions of more than 23,000 tons of carbon dioxide each year. That's just our city. So when you think about all that added up with all the vehicles and all the cities around the world, there's obviously lots of room to improve. So transitioning our fleet to EVs and hybrids can reduce that by a third. So this is a smart choice, one with good financial health and environmental consequences, and one that I think our community will embrace. So we're proud to have this action here today. Councilman Stewart, Evolve KY, Daniel, and others, thank you for APCD. Thank you all so much for your encouragement along this journey, and today's another strong step in that. So with that, we will sign the executive order on the hood of this beautiful electric vehicle owned by Louisville Metro government here. So with the signature on this page here, this executive order prioritizing our sustainability efforts becomes official. Thank you, everybody.